Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 1.6S diesel. And this is one of the facelift models. You can tell that by this really nicely styled front end on the car, much more aggressive looking than upmarket. This car's, well, we bought it with just under, it was on 89,000 something. It's now just over 90,000 because I actually used it at the weekend, so I've added a few miles. I do apologise. The front of the car is really clean and tidy. Bonnet is very clean. There are obviously some light stone chips on there, which you're clearly going to get with the age and mileage of the car, but they are light. Near side of the car, lovely and smooth in the panel work. I saw one tiny little dimple dent, which I'll try and find for you, but near side front alloy, absolutely superb. Sort of Goodyear tyre there. The other side's very clean. As I said, I did see a tiny little dimple dent, which I'll just there, and it is very small, size of a sort of fingernail, but I try and pick up on what I can. Near side rear alloy, again very clean, tidy, and that's a Bridgestone tyre, again good quality tyre on the car there. Coming around the back, this one's been fitted with parking sensors, which is nice to find, front and rear, which is actually an option on the car at the time. Coming around the back, as you can see there, it's silver trim, front and higher and lower level, part of the facelift on the car. Coming down to the offside, driver's side, again very clean and tidy. Goodyear tyres on both sides on this side of the car, and the alloys in fantastic condition, but it certainly doesn't look like it's done the mileage it's done. It's been kept very well. Offside front wheel, absolutely superb, but the car's in really fantastic condition. Coming into the boot area now, absolutely huge boots. They really are massive. Quick fold rear seats. Plastics and fabrics are in lovely condition back here, and that's not always the case because they are quite often used for sort of heavy haulage, and but this one's been given a very light life. Coming inside the rear, you see absolutely enormous amount of rear leg room in these cars, and those seats in the front are set for me, and I'm over 6 foot tall. Fabric on the seats, again in very nice condition. Front passenger door card, as with all the others, is in very good condition as well. And passenger seat again, kept very nicely. So finally come to the driver's door card. Again, really well kept. Footwell area is all very clean and tidy, and driver's seat again in very nice condition. Sat inside the car now, engine's running for this section so the dash can actually be seen illuminated. Dashboard looks pretty much as new. It's absolutely incredibly clean. It's a really high quality affair as well. Just come across to the main dashboard binnacle, pan in there for you, hopefully you can see 90,139 miles, and there are no warning lights on the car whilst the engine's running. Steering wheel looks and feels absolutely as new in hand. So it certainly doesn't look anything like the mileage it's done. It's been kept wonderfully well. Just to quickly show you, owner's manual pack is here with the car, as is very importantly the lock and wheel nut key. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 1.6S diesel. This particular car is registered at RV65FFN. And mileage at the start of the road test is 90,133 miles. The reason we do these videos is essentially because we know that a lot of our customers travel, really long distances to come and see our cars, and we've done the same to go and see vehicles, and only to get there and it looked great in the photos, and then you drive it to find out it's got a mechanical issue which would manifest itself on any test drive. So that's why we do it, so I can feed back anything on test drive that you need to know about before setting off to come and see us. Road test is also done on these very quiet country roads close to our premises, so in that respect we'd hope it would be representative of what you'd feel yourself if offered a test drive in the vehicle. The car itself has been very well maintained. It's hard to believe it's done the mileage it's done, because the way the car drives, it just feels so solid. Engine starts absolutely instantly, settles to a completely smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. The engines themselves are fantastic units. They're just a lovely car to use day in, day out, and don't for a second think, because it's only a 1.6, that it hasn't got the guts or the power to pull the car along, especially when as it's replaced the old 2.2 litre engine. It's actually quicker in day-to-day use than 2.2 ever was. It's got a much quicker initial throttle response, builds up speed more readily. It's a really great engine. On top of which, the fuel economy is amazing on them. You know, if you get less than 50 miles to the gallon, you're doing something wrong, really. In all honesty, you're holding gears too long or something, I don't know. But, you know, I get well in excess of that out of ours. But different driving styles obviously will dictate how much you get, but they are amazingly economical. Cam chain driven, no cam belts on them, so no major service on them, which is really good news. Engine then feeds through clutch and into gearbox. Clutch in the car, absolutely perfect. Bike point's exactly where it should be, and the pedal travel's lovely and smooth and quiet in operation. Clutch then feeds through into the 6-speed gearbox. Absolutely brilliant gearbox. Normally when you SUVs, it does seem to be a bit of an excuse for manufacturers to give the car kind of a truck-like gear change. But not with Honda, because this gearbox could happily go in one of their more sporty cars, because it's incredibly short in throw, really precise and accurate, and the quality of synchromesh and engagement's absolutely second to none. It is brilliant, and this gear change feels exactly as it did when it was new. It's wonderfully tight and precise. Steering on the car, again, just feels tight as a drum. I can't feel any wear in it at all. There's no wheel wobble at any speed up to the legal limit, and it tracks absolutely dead straight. I can't criticise it in any way. It also happens to be a lovely power steering setup. It's got a feeling of a nice weighting to it, so it feels nice and secure on the road. And it just perfectly suits the chassis of the vehicle as well. The chassis and the steering work as one. It is absolutely brilliant. The chassis, Honda know this market intimately, of course. The CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world, so they obviously know what their customers want. And generally speaking, most customers for this type of car want a family car that's going to be very comfortable to drive over long distances for front and rear passengers. Quite often, manufacturers seem to think it needs to handle like a sports car. Well, if you want it for that, that's fine. This isn't a sports car. It rides beautifully and very comfortably with a really nicely damped chassis, but it also happens to go through the corners really well. You don't get the extremes of body roll that you get with some of them, and in tighter corners it doesn't lurch and wallow about. And that's particularly important for rear seat passengers, because they aren't anticipating what's about to happen with steering inputs, so they're the ones that get flailing about in the back. And it's just a wonderfully set up car. The chassis, by the way, what I also look on for a test drive is just signs of any sort of knocking noises or anything coming from underneath the vehicle that shouldn't be there, because you'll hear it hitting bumps, but you shouldn't hear any sort of chattering noises, and there's nothing at all. It's absolutely spot on. Brakes on the car, we did the pre-delivery inspection check last night, and it looks like the discs and pads have literally only just been changed, so they are absolutely fantastic. So when you hit the brake pedal, of course, it's got a wonderfully powerful brake pedal, and of course there's no vibrations or pulsing, because as I say, they are essentially as new. Looking around inside the car, we've not cleaned it yet. It's about to go for a clean, and it just is in amazing condition. And this, as I always say, this is real build quality. There's no squeaks, no rattles. It feels just like new to drive along in. No kind of sort of resonating or humming from the trim. Because what really frustrates me is that you read road test magazines, car magazines, and they test brand new cars, and all they go by, if a door sounds thuddy and it's got squidgy plastics, that means that it's well built. I mean, with the greatest respect, utter garbage. It's how a car is after a few years on the road, or many tens of thousands of miles, and some of those cars which they claim to be beautifully built are rattle boxes at this age. Rubber peeling off window switches and the major switches. Every switch in here looks and feels and actuates as new. I mean, that's the quality of the build that Honda put into these things. They are practical, so you can wipe the plastics nice and simply and clean and keep them in good condition. And it is a brilliant interior, not only for that reason, for build, but also for using day in, day out, because it's a simple car to sit in and drive straight away. Radio is simplicity itself. Obviously you've got hands-free telephone built into that as well. You've got a dual zone climate control system, so you can have a different temperature from passenger side to driver's side, all working exactly as it should, and pumps out lovely cold air. And then the dashboard in front, again, just simplicity itself, clear, legible dials. Temperature gauge, by the way, now up to operating temperatures, running at a third, which is exactly where it should be on a Honda car. Steering wheel looks and feels as new in the hand. This car has parking sensors fitted. It's obviously got cruise control, all works exactly as it should as well. But you can see why people love these cars, because they are very high quality indeed, and perfect for family use. And we've had too many to recall now as a family. They just fit perfectly, you know. As I said at the start of the video, the point, as brief as it might be, is literally just to show you the car in operation, but to feedback on any issues at all. And there is nothing at all on the car. It drives essentially, and as cliched as it sounds, as new. It just feels incredibly tight and taut on the road, and I'm not giving it any allowance at all for its age and mileage, and not letting it have, you know, a few things because it's done the miles it's done. We sell many I've got one in stock with nearly 30,000 miles on the clock, very low mileage, and it drives exactly the same as this one in every single way. As always though, if you've got any questions about the vehicle that I've not covered in the video, then, you know, please don't hesitate, do give us a call.